Okay, let's get started. As I said before, this webinar is being recorded and will be hosted on our website at a later date. So please don't worry if you need to refresh yourself at another time or you weren't able to make it. Thanks for those who can. So welcome to the annual United States Antarctic Program Data Center annual webinar. It's a bit of a mouthful. I am your host, Isabel Cordero, and I'll be walking you through how we at USAP DC help support your Antarctic data requirements. So let's start with what is USAP DC. So it's a repository for digital data sets that are collected or created by NSF, OPP, Operation of Polar Programs, awarded projects. Our function is to support digital data obligations, data reuse, scientific reproducibility, with the goal of maintaining an aggregate collection to enable new science, as well as we are a fair data repository and provide support for users to support and achieve their fairness kind of requirements. So who is USAP DC? This is us. Frank and Kirsty are also in chat. So is Alex, I think. Kirsty and Frank will also be available at the end of this webinar for questions and answers. But we are your team effectively. And I want to give a shout out to Ngok, who just recently graduated and has been with us for the last year, helping us out with our data management. So yeah, congrats. We're a fairly small team and we handle everything sort of personally. And when you email info@USAPDC, you're emailing us. And so us personally, if you're thinking why we exist, well, I direct you to the 2022 Dear Colleague letter from the Office of Polar Programs, in which you may already be familiar, but it stresses fair data principles, which are meaning fair. Findability is accessibility, interoperability, and reusability of data products. We primarily, there are certain archival data requirements, and we primarily facilitate those. In fact, we are specifically named in the OPP award that you should register your project and potentially support and your metadata for any data sets with USAP DC. So how we support you in these ways is almost entirely. USAP DC project pages are linked to award numbers and associated data sets, making it really easy for both you and NSF to see a summary of your project awards. Your products from the award. And we also submit all your metadata to the Antarctic Meta Directory. Apologies. Been talking a lot today. And other catalogs as well, which I'll expand on as well later. We also register data sets with DOIs, and we also host links to external repositories that aren't our own. So these are the three keystones of our website and how we support you, as well as the life cycle of data. So we sort of have this full support where we help you with findability and registering your project and also depositing your data sets and making them as fair as possible. Fairness is at each step of our life cycle that we support as well. So I will show you how the data and project pages help you. So let's start with searching with data on our website. So our search functionality includes free text searches, NSF award searches, people searches, specific program searches, and external repository searches. Moreover, we have a map server, which hosts all of these data in case you want to search by location. And these searches on the map are also refined by keywords and the free text searches that we used on the other page. We also use these search parameters in our database. It's populated by your metadata that you submit from your research project and from your data set. And so we really are only as good, we're only as good as our community. And I think that our data collection and our search functions are actually fantastic, and they really reflect that. By submitting with us, you're already being fair. And I'll show you how you meet your OPP obligations and your fairness obligations by submitting with us. So for example, this is a dataset landing page, which you may already be familiar with, or you will be familiar with shortly. each of these elements is part of a FAIR category. So let's start with findability. Findability, and each dataset page, you can provide spatial extents and locations of that dataset. You also provide pretty robust keywords, and all of those feed into our search functions as well as external functions. This helps your accessibility across, people find make you accessible and findable to other datasets and searches. We also automatically register with DOI, which provides a unique and persistent identifier for each dataset, as well as formally linking your metadata to the Antarctic metadata directory, data1 and schema.org. The link to your AMD record will be on the dataset page as well. We also link NSF awards to each project, as well as the project pages funded by the same awards, to keep everything sort of in a beautiful cycle on our website. So let's move into accessibility. Our metadata is available for download and exploration via API. We do not have API downloadable data sets, but hopefully something that we can work on in the future. Also, something that we can hopefully put infrastructure in the future, dataset files larger than 5 GB must be requested from USAP DC and downloaded separately. However, the README and all other sized data sets are easily just tickable and downloadable directly to your machine. You can either select all, select some, and download those as a zip file conveniently at your leisure. The README is the most interoperable, reusable, findable, helpful piece of information that we have on our website. It has a simple form that you can fill in from the dataset landing page or to the edit page, where you can update it any time. The text, it's a simple text file that's viewable in a browser window, or it can be downloaded directly. Interoperability is somewhat difficult to achieve from our end on your behalf. However, we also encourage, meeting discipline or general standards of data practices to support interoperability. Moving into reusable, many of the findable and accessible features make your data sets reusable. However, we do automatically generate a full citation with DOI for easy citability, easy data reuse, and host that on the web page of every data set as well. Moreover, we automatically give you the option to choose between several licenses, but this is our default license, the Creative Commons license. You will be able to choose the license at any step of the way and change it as you see fit moving in the future. However, we do recommend using this International Creative Commons license. And then, of course, going back to the README is so helpful for other users. It's one of those do unto other situations. The more information, the better. And it's so easy to update and fill out at your leisure. And so that's how we make dataset pages fair, which is how we can help you make your dataset the fairest dataset possible. And now I would like to show you how we use that with our project landing pages, which is linked here. So I'll navigate to this project landing page. And these are the key elements of the project landing page as well. The datasets will populate this table here. USAP DC datasets will automatically populate. External datasets with links to other repositories can be updated by yourself, or you can request that at info@usapdc.org. That is our email. Changes can be made at any time to the project landing page. Collaborators using org IDs or emails can also edit this page at any time, making it extremely flexible. Say you have a data management plan that you would like to update, you can easily do that from this edit function as well. While you can update your own publications, USAP DC will automatically update publications through linked NSF awards and NSF grant numbers. So it's very easy for us to do on your behalf, but is also available for you to edit and add whenever you make discoveries down the line. And that's the core of the project landing page and the dataset landing pages. So that's how we provide fairness to you, and which is why I say submitting your data and registering your project with us is pretty much half the battle, if not more of the battle, in meeting your OPP and your fairness requirements. So how do you make these? Well, either you can navigate to our webpage and begin using those 3 buttons all by yourself, or perhaps you've just been recently awarded a grant and we harvest those awards via API, and that populates a welcome letter that we send out to all new awardees. We also populate a closeout letter, which will go out 3 months before the end of your award. And when you receive these emails, there'll be information about how you can set up your project page and submit your data set, which you can do at any time. In fact, the earlier, the better. Having it already set up and out of the way is fantastic. This is sort of the registration checklist that I'll give you. It's very easy. The project registration is almost completely pre-populated for you. And so there's very little you need to do, but you do need to check through a few things. For example, collaborative project, we would really like only 1 page per project. And so we recommend that the primary institution or the lead institution spearhead the creation of that. We encourage making sure all collaborators' names are spelled correctly. And if they have org IDs, that makes it even easier for them to log in the future and make edits and changes as need be. If you already are registered with USAP DC and you don't have your ORCID registered with it, then email us and we can set up your org ID with your name and email address and make sure that everything is uniform so that there's 1 person, and that is you in our database and not several duplicates making data elsewhere in the USAP DC database as well. References will take your time with because you're going to create them at some point. Data management plans, if you don't have one, we have support for that. Also, they can change at any time, and so that you can change those at any time you need as well. Depositing data sets is just as easy. We have a very simple form. We encourage final data products to be submitted. So these are sort of the fairness checklist of your data products to make sure that your final data product is final, and you're submitting to us what you would like to be reused in the rest of the world. The deposit form for depositing data sets is very straightforward as well. The biggest hangup is the data set title. A lot of people have difficulty with that. We prefer the data set title to be the most descriptive data set title possible. The longer, the better. And also just the fewer shorthand that you can get away with, the better as well. The data set summary should be specific to your data set as well. It doesn't need to be, and it shouldn't be just the abstract of your NSF award. And otherwise, the rest of the checklist overlaps pretty much with the rest. And yeah, that is the dataset checklist. Also, you can edit the dataset at any time. As I said, we encourage final products to get put in, because once a DOI is issued, that should be the final product. If you edit the dataset page and upload a new data file, you are not editing the data file that's currently attached. You're actually creating a new version of the dataset entirely. And so if you want to change things in your data before, say, the DOI is fully assigned, or you want to put an embargo on your data, please just ask us. We're extremely amenable to help in that situation. We totally understand how this goes. You make a typo in the title and you don't want to make the correct title a whole new data set. We're able to help you out with those things. So this is just a recap of the checklist for your data sets. Please go ahead and take a screenshot if you would like. They're pretty straightforward. All of this information is also on our website. Again, you can email us at any time. And because we do focus on digital data, I would recommend you take a look at these beautiful repositories and see if anything is more applicable for your kind of data sets. But we do host links to all of these data sets on our websites. So as soon as you have a repository link with any of these data sets, we can host it on your project page as well to make sure that everything is in one space and very easy and findable. If you have any questions, please contact us at info@usapdc.org, as I said. And also, I'd like to just plug the United States Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research is having a repository office hours on June 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you're interested in going to that, attending that, asking any questions, please email us as well, and we can get you the information as soon as we can. All right, that's all I have left. If I've sped through this at the speed of light, forgive me. I'm happy to repeat anything that I've brought up in the last few minutes. So thank you so much and really appreciate you coming.